Barakatin Yahweh, Barakatin Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rukakodesh. Greens to the hopeful elect. Okay, family, led by the Spirit, always led by the Spirit. We're going back to the book of Ezekiel. We're going to chapter 40 now in the great book of Ezekiel. This book is a wonderful book. I love the book of Ezekiel. It's my personal favorite. It comes hard, I've pretty much done them all except for we're in chapter 40 now when it comes to Ezekiel. Got previous videos of all the previous chapters. Every chapter is an exhortation, but it's one of the books where you definitely have to have the Ruach Hakodesh with you to decipher the many mysteries of the kingdom. Glorified be your name, Abba Yahweh Elohim. Glorified be Adonai Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Glorified be the set apart spirit, the Ruach Hakodesh. Family, let's get edified, man. This is a great time to be an Israelite. The scriptures are daily bread, and we love, getting the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding of the kingdom. So let's proceed, fam. Chapter 40, a new city and a new temple. In the 25th year of our captivity, at the beginning of the year, and on the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after the city was captured, on the very same day, the hand of the Most High was upon me, and he took me there. In the vision of Elohim, he took me into the land of Israel, and he set me on a very high mountain. On it towards the south was something like the structure of a city. He took me there, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of bronze. He had a line of flax and a measuring rod in his hand, and he stood in the gateway. Man, Selah, hallelujah. That's Adonai Mashiach Yahweh Shai, man. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, man. He's a deep melanin brother, man. From the deeper melanin brothers from the southern kingdom, man. He's not no hippie, that abomination of image of Caesar Borgia, man. Edomite bullshit, man. That's not who Adonai Mashiach Yahweh Shai is, But this is deep, man. Because when he says here that he took him on a very high mountain, mountains represent governments, man. So Ezekiel got a glance at New Jerusalem, a New Jerusalem, and at the new temple, that is to come when Lord Yahushua reigns with us, Now let's proceed. And the man said to me, Son of man, look with your eyes and hear with your ears, and fix your mind on everything I show you. For you were brought here so that I might show them to you. Declare to the house of Israel everything you see. Now there was a wall all around the outside of the temple, and in the man's hand was a measure rod 6 cubits long, each being a cubit in a handbreadth. And he measured the width of the wall structure, 1 rod, and the height 1 rod. Okay, glorified be your name, man. I guess Ezekiel got to see the new temple, and he got to see New Jerusalem, the holy city, Then it's now this part of the chapter next. It says the eastern gateway of the temple. Then he went to the gateway which faced east, and he went up its stairs and measured the thresholds of the gateway, which was 1 rod wide, and the other thresholds was 1 rod wide. Each gate chamber was 1 rod long and 1 rod wide. Between the gate chambers was a space of 5 cubits, and the thresholds of the gateway by the vestibules of the inside gate was 1 rod. He also measured the vestibule of the inside gate 1 rod. Then he measured the vestibules of the gateway 8 cubits, and the gate post 2 cubits. The vestibule of the gate was on the inside. And the eastern gate was 3 gate chambers on one side, and the 3 on the other, and 3 were all the same size. Also the gate posts were all the same size on this side and on that side. He measured the width of the entrance of the gateway, 10 cubits, and 10 lengths of the gate, 13 cubits. There was a space in front of the gate chambers, 1 cubit on this side and 1 cubit on that side. The gate chambers were 6 cubits on the side and 6 cubits on that side. Then he measured the gateway from the roof of one gate chamber to the roof of the other. The width was 25 cubits as the doors faced doors. He measured the gate post 60 cubits high, and the court all around the gateway extended to the gate post. From the front of the entrance, the gate to the front of the vestibules of the inner gate was 50 cubits. There would be beveled windows frames in the gate chambers and in the entering archways in the inside of the gateway all around. And likewise in the vestibules there were windows all around on the inside, and on each gate post were palm trees. Okay, you know what? That's the eastern gateway. It's just humongous, man, enormous. It's something that just it's pretty much like astronomical measurements. It's like something that we've never seen before. But it's just the measurements and the dimensions in itself is an exhortation that this new temple is going to be beautiful, man. It's going to be beyond our wildest dreams. And that's why, these measurements are insurmountable. So, 60 cubits is 125 feet, man. Like, I mean, this is just mind-boggling, man. But, our understandings are small compared to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, and it's just unbelievable. But let's proceed, okay? Chapter it continues, to verse 17. It says the outer courts. Then he brought me into the outer courts, and there were chambers and a pavement made all around the court. 30 chambers faced the pavement. The pavement was by the side of the gateway, corresponding to the length of the gateway. This was the lower pavement. Then he measured the width from the front of the lower gate to the front of the inner court, 100 cubits towards the east in the northern. 50 cubits is 104 feet. And the size of a chamber, according to verse, was a rod long, and a rod long would be like about 12 feet. 6 inches in square. I mean, it's just like I say, the measurements are just amazing, man, unbelievable. It's just mind-boggling, like I said, and it's something to look forward to, and can't wait to see the beauty of it, And let's proceed. It says the northern gateway. And on the court side also was a gateway facing north in the measurements, its length and its width. Its gateway, look, it says in its gate chambers, three on this side and 3 on that side. Its gate posts and its archways had the same measurements as the first gate, and its length was 50 cubits and its width 25 cubits. Its windows and those of its archways and also its palm trees had the same measurements as the gateway facing east, as it was ascended by 7 steps, and its archway was in front of it. A gateway of inner court was opposing the northern gateway, just as the eastern gateway, and he measured from gateway to gateway 100 cubits. 100 cubits. So 100 cubits is 208 feet. 4 inches. Wow. It says between 2 walls. So this refers to the gateway facing each other in the outer and the inner court, which had 100 cubits between them. That is between 2 walls. 100 cubits equals 208 feet. 4 inches. Unbelievable. It's the majesty of our Elohim is beyond comprehension. Selah, glorified be your name, Abba. Let's proceed. The southern gateway. After he brought me towards the south, and there was a gateway was facing south, and he measured its gate posts and archways according to these same measurements. There were windows in it, and its archway all around like those windows. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. 7 steps led up to it, and its archways was in front of them. And it had palm trees on its gate posts, and one on each side, and one on that side. There was also a gateway on the inner court facing south, and he measured from gateway to gateway towards the south 100 cubits. It says, right? And it says gateways of the inner court. Then he brought me to the inner court to the southern gateway. He measured the southern gateway according to the same measurements. Also its gate chambers, its posts, and its archways were according to these same measurements. There were windows in it, and its archway all around. It was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. There were archways all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. 50 cubits is 104 feet. 25 cubits is 52 feet and 1 inches. Now see, and its archway faced the outer court, and palm trees were on its gateway, and going up to it were 8 steps. And then he brought me into the inner court facing east. He measured the gateway according to the same measurements. Also its gate chambers, its gate posts, and its archways were according to the same measurements, and there were windows in it, and its archway all around, and it was 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. Its archways faced the outer court, and palm trees were on its gate posts on this side and on that side, and going up to it were 8 steps. Then he brought me to the north gateway and measured it according to the same measurements. Also its gate chambers, its gate posts, and its archways. It had windows all around. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. Its gate posts faced the outer court. Palm trees were on its gate posts, and on this side and on that side, and going up to it were 8 steps. Unbelievable, just the humongous, how enormous this temple is. Wow, you just got the measurements. It's mind-boggling. Well, let's proceed. This part here says, when sacrifices were prepared, there was a chamber and its entrance by the gatepost of the gateway where they washed the burnt offerings. In the vestibules of the gateway were the 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, on which lay the burnt offerings, to sin offering, and the trespass offering. At the outer side of the vestibles, as one goes up to the entrance of the northern gateway, were 2 tables, and on the other side of the vestibles of the gateway were 2 tables. 4 tables were on this side and 4 tables on that side. By the side of the gateway, 8 tables on which they slaughtered the sacrifices. There were also 4 tables of hewed stones for the burnt offering, 1.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1 cubit high. On these they laid the instruments which they slaughtered the burnt offerings and the sacrifices. These were hooks and handbreadth weight fastened all around, and the flesh of the sacrifice was on the table. That says chambers of singers and priests. It says outside the inner gate were the chambers for the singers in the outer court, and on one facing south at the side of the northern gateway, and the other facing north at the side of the southern gateway. Then he said to me, this chamber which faces south is for the priests who have charge of the temple. The chambers which face north is for the priests who have charge of the altar. These are the sons of Saduk from the sons of Levi, who come near Elohim to minister to him. Okay, the rooms for the singers were at the side of the northern gate facing the great altar of the sacrifice towards the south. It says, this was the house of the priests. This chamber for the altar priest was on the opposite side of the great altar on the south side gate facing the altar on the north side. See? So these were like the sons of, these are the priests, that the Levites, the high priests, they're going to be, the sons of Saduk, they're going to be, they're going to be ministering to the Most High, pretty much in charge of the temple, like it was in the beginning, but just better and forever. It says dimensions of the inner court and vestibles. And the measure of the court 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, 4 squares. The altar was in front of the temple. Then he brought me to the vestibule of the temple and measured the doorposts of the vestibule, 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on that side. And the width of the gateway was 3 cubits on this side and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the vestibule was 20 cubits and the width 11 cubits. And by the steps which led up to it here were pillars by the doors that post one of this side and one on the other side. This altar was the most inner court in the fourth perfect square of the sanctuary. It was 100 cubits of 208 feet and 4 inches. The third square was 300 cubits or 625 feet squares. The second was 500 cubits or 1,041 feet and 8-inch squares, about 1/5 of a mile. The first one was 6,250 feet square. The great altar was 25 feet square with a base of 29 feet 2 inches square, situated in the very center, of the squares. So it's unbelievable how the perfection of the Most High, in his, his geometry is amazing, man. This refers to the temple proper, its proper front face, the great altar, of the sacrifices. The vestibules begin with the west side of the center square. See the west side? The temple was located in another perfect square of like another 100 cubic each, 100 cubits each side. Like I said, 208 feet and 4 inches. This is just amazing, It's just that's the end of the chapter. It's just pretty much mind-boggling, The vestibule consists of a central opening with 2 columns on either side. And these columns with the space between them were called the gateposts. So these base of columns were a cubit or 25-inch squares, and the width of it is 3 cubits, which is 6 feet, in each side of the 2 sides, making it 12 feet and 6 inches altogether. Because 5 cubits equals 10 feet and 5 inches, and 3 cubits equals 6 feet and 3 inches. The mathematics of this is just unbelievable, But we can't expect any less from our Lord Yahweh Shai. It's going to be a beautiful, just the best temple ever created. These measurements, like I said, are an exhortation in itself. Glorified be your name, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Glorified be the Ruach Kodesh. Family, I hope this was edifying. That's a lot for you to just picture in your mind. If you want to go back and read it yourself, or run my video over and get the measurements, and maybe for some of the brothers, they're very they have they're very artistic or not. You can make maybe drawings and just picture what it would be like and it would look like, when the new temple and what that city would be, New Jerusalem. I hope this was edifying. Stay the course. Hopefully, saying we're close. We're close. We're not that far away from being redeemed. You can feel it, and just every day, just take it slowly, man. Have the fringes in your heart, man, and always think before you act upon slipping from the side of the Most High. And at that note, I want to say Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Kakadesh, and Shalom, family.